Fat Dag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, Fat Dag.
I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com, or you can follow along on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're at a point, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Hello, welcome to episode 219 of Wise Advice, and I want to take a moment to just kind of recap a couple things, and this will be a very long episode. I'll give you that warning up ahead of time. What I've done is we did the Indy Ultimate this weekend, and just before that, I was up in New York City. I want to update you on both of them, and then I want to play a very special audio for you that you guys can just listen in on. And if you follow along, you know that this show is 100% user content driven. The way I operate is you email in, you send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. I say that at the opening of every show. But what I mean by that is when you email in at onair@fatdag.com, that's what this show has always been 100% about. On occasion, I get requests from folks that say, "Hey, can you have me as a guest on your podcast?" And it's just the show has really never developed into that kind of form. But we got done the Indy Ultimate this weekend, and I want to take a stab at it. So before I get to that, I want to just update you with New York City. Had a blast up in New York City. I flew up for a television show it'll be on YouTube. It'll be called Let's Talk with Jody Daly, and it's Store Brands USA. They do a YouTube channel that talks about how we just treat ourselves, how we be healthier. And in about a month or so, that episode will be released, and I'll get that out to you as soon as it comes out. But it was very exciting. I'd never been to New York City before. Keith, those of you who follow along on Facebook, Keith is always there. He met me at the airport, and he showed me a side of New York City that would have taken me a week to explore on my own. And hats off to him for taking time off of his busy schedule to truly accommodate me, welcome me to a city called New York City that I'd never, ever been to before, if you can believe that. But we had an absolute blast, like I said, walking around. The filming was very fun. It was just kind of one of those things where, you guys know me, the best part is always getting your makeup done. So I kind of always laugh when it gets time to sit in the makeup chair. But it's funny, it actually looks better. I took a couple selfies, I like it. So that's the deal with New York City, and hopefully I'll go back, have a chance to go back up to New York City. That'll always be kind of fun, but we'll just play that by ear. But like I said, as soon as that episode is released, I will certainly push that out through all the social channels, but predominantly it'll be on Facebook. You can catch in live there. And then flew right home from New York City and into the Indy Ultimate, where we had an amazing time. Hurricane Gordon, or Tropical Storm Gordon, came up into Indianapolis, and we were threatened with rain. There was some couple text messages back and forth that maybe the event would get rained out, but it did not. We were rain or shine. It was just the thunder and lightning we were concerned about. And so here we are the morning of. I got up very early. I met everyone there at about 7:30. There's about 30 or so folks who just joined us. And we did a variation of, some of us ran, some of us walked, some of us walked. And it was a 5-mile, they call it an urban adventure through the city of Indianapolis. And the cool part is you got to do, the Indiana Army Guard was there, and they yelled at you for a little bit and made you do some burpees and carry these water jugs around the circle. And then you went from there. We went all through the city running around. We ended up going into Lucas Oil Stadium for a little bit. You had an opportunity to kick a field goal on the field. There was some soccer nets there. You could kick a soccer ball into the soccer net. You went into Victory Field. We didn't get a chance to run around the bases. It was just simply too wet. But basically what this race was all about, it was just a chance to explore Indianapolis in a way that many people don't get to do that. My favorite part was was all of the wingmen that showed up in force. And I tell you, it was overwhelming and heartwarming to see so many of you come out. And it wasn't even like it was close. Not like everybody came from Indianapolis. We had folks from Alabama. We had folks from Houston. We had folks from North Carolina. Chicago was well represented. New York City was well represented. So it was interesting to me to see, I understood that the local folks came out. That makes sense because it's just, we live here, but so many people came in from out of town because they wanted to be part of this community that we're building. And it truly is, it's a remarkable community. We had a blast. And so what I'm going to do in a little bit, I'm going to play the audio one by one after the race. A small group of us ended up getting back together for a cocktail and a dinner. And I pulled out the microphone and I said, you know what? I've never had a guest on the podcast before. What would it be like if we tried it? So we tried it. So the audio isn't perfect. I apologize for that. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never had this opportunity to do it before. But we just did one by one. I brought them up and we interviewed, and I asked them questions about what they thought about the race and how their journey's going. And I want you to take a moment to listen to the numbers, and I'm sure Lee will add it all up for me. But the amount of weight loss in just this podcast is staggering. I think when we actually got to dinner, we added up and it was a little over 1,000 pounds, and we all crammed in the elevator to go upstairs to the 10th floor to overlook the city. And we remarked, we're like, we wouldn't have been able to fit in this elevator 1,000 pounds ago. So that's what this journey is all about, is completely changing lives. And we went around the table at the end of dinner and we said one by one, what's your favorite part of the journey? And the piece I want to share with you is that my favorite part of this journey is that we all come together for this day, for this moment. We celebrate the things we have in common rather than tear each other apart for the things that we have different. And if you look at, most social media platforms today and most communities, what we do is we find differences in each other and we attack each other and we vilify each other and we just tear each other down, but not this community. This community, we spend so much time saying, what do we have in common? And when we share those commonalities, we start seeing a side of each other that we can all relate to, and it just builds this loving, supporting, amazing community. And that's my favorite part, is that, I remarked as we were sitting around the dinner table, if we were, thrown into a conference together and had no idea who any of us were, we probably had some political beliefs that were different. We probably had some things in our brain that just didn't jive with other people's brains. And we may not get along if we sit there strictly focusing on the things and how we're different. That's my favorite part of the journey, that you bring this group together and we have this amazing time at dinner. I mean, we had so much fun after the conversation, and it was just truly, truly heartwarming. So without any further ado, I want to get to this. I want you to hear this audio. Like I said, it's about an hour and 20 some minutes long, but I really want you to listen to their stories, to all the amazing things they've accomplished. And I want you to believe, and I want you to know that you can do that too. I believe in you. I've said it from the very beginning. I believe in you. And this here is just a proof to that. And what I want you to take from this is that these folks did everything that you're trying to do, that you're dreaming to do, that you're hoping is possible. We've just proven that it is possible. And we just want you to keep going, and do it until you get to whatever place you call goal. And at that point, you celebrate. So here we go. Listen in to the audio from the just before we went to dinner, just after the Indy Ultimate.
All right.
So hey, all we're doing is just chatting about the Indy Ultimate. So for those of you on Facebook and then those of you on the podcast, we're live from the Indy Ultimate. We got done doing the race today. It was a ton of fun. It rained way more than we think it probably should have. But nonetheless, we had a good time. We really enjoyed the race. Keith flew all the way in from New York City.
I did.
How do you like it, Keith? What do you think so far?
Love it.
Yeah?
I will come back.
You will come back.
I will.
Get closer.
And anyway, the amount of rain was less than Toronto.
Less than Toronto,
I think, for our.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was the best part?
The community, the team spirit, the desire not to let anyone fail.
Right.
Walk with your wingman, get to the end.
Right. And so when you started, when did you sign up for this? As soon as you knew we were coming?
Yes.
And what do you think?
I like it. I mean, it truly is a community. The wingman community over there, which you can't see.
I know, there's like 12 people over there.
I know, yeah. And those who were here earlier today, that community is what keeps it going.
Right.
I'm down 99.8 because of our efforts, my efforts, but also the community has kept me going over the year.
That is awesome. Did you say, it sounded like you said 99.8?
Yeah. 99.8.
What does 99.8 pounds less feel like?
Well, I was in Idaho at a supermarket, and I picked up a 25-pound bag of carrots.
Right.
And suddenly realized, wow, I used to carry around 4 of those. And so getting rid of that makes the physicality of existence a lot less. It's less hard to climb upstairs. People hear you, people talk to you, and it changes your world.
It's interesting you said that. Do you, because I kind of noticed that too. Do you feel, when we're overweight, we kind of feel like everyone's watching us, but at the same point, we're kind of invisible. Do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. They see you, but they don't engage with you.
Right. You're visual.
Yes.
But they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to do anything with you.
Absolutely.
And so now being 100 pounds different
changes your world.
Right. How's your confidence?
Getting better. I got a ways to go. But, when you live obese for 20 plus years, it takes a while to recode yourself.
Absolutely, it does. So, Indy Ultimate today, what was your favorite?
Well, I won't say my favorite thing was the end, but my favorite part of it was what?
Turn up the volume.
Turn up the volume?
Move that one closer.
So move that one closer. Okay.
We'll see what we can do. Put it over there. We will try this. You may get you may get louder audio for those of you on Facebook, but so we're just kind of live. Anyway, so your favorite venue is what?
Well, Monument Circle. I mean, it's not quite the venue, but it is the place. It is a marker, the beginning and the end of the journey, and quite symbolic, because if you showed up in the first place, you've done something remarkable. If you've come from a place of obesity, just getting to the start line is a total shift in your worldview.
Right.
And if you actually make it to the end, it's really quite cool.
It's pretty impressive, right?
It is.
Yep. Yeah, I had a blast. This is my second year doing it, and when I did it last year, I was like, yeah, I have to come back and do this. It was no brainer.
I mean, you out there better come back next year.
I know, right? Everyone on Facebook needs to be here.
Everyone.
Well, cool.
We need to sell them out.
We do. I don't know what the number is, but I think the rain kind of held off a little bit, which, helped or held many people from coming.
I agree. So
Turn it up. They can't hear it.
Oh, they'll have to listen to the recording. So cool. All right, cool. Keith, thank you. Let's get Marcia, get over here.
Are you Marsha?
Yeah, we're gonna put. Look at that. We're gonna put Marcia on. So, for those of you on Facebook, sorry you can't hear. We'll try and get this. Let me see if I can make it better.
Yeah, I'm getting notices saying, please turn the volume up.
People can't hear, eh?
Right.
Let's do that.
There you go. Do I have to put these on?
Yep. So hopefully Facebook can hear us better. So Marcia, say hi.
Hi.
Can you? You gotta
Let's
lean
get
in.
me on.
I know.
Look,
You gotta
look.
lean in.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yeah. No Cleveland Browns stuff.
In the house.
Yeah. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's raining 24 hours straight. I'm thinking I did great today. I came and I tried and I did what my body allowed me to do. And I thank you all so very, very much that posted to me today. Thank you very much. I love you all.
So walk me through the process of you getting to Indianapolis from Cleveland. How does that even happen?
Well, there's this podcast that I follow of this guy who's so into himself and just loves himself and loves me and believes in me. And so I thought, well, if he believes in me, maybe I should believe in me too. And I signed up and I drove here and I met the most wonderful people ever in my life here. And
That's them over there.
That's them.
Yeah.
And I set out to do something, and I did half of it. And
You did more than half of it.
I did. Oh, I did 5K according to my miler thing.
Yeah.
I did 5K. So
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
What did I tell you? Was when we were at Victory Field and when we finally made the decision that it was the best call for you was to get to the finish line quickly. What did I tell you? Do you remember?
that I started, and the victory is in starting and signing up.
Right.
And when was the last time I did this? And I said last week. I did it last
did
week.
say-
That's
yeah.
why I'm so tired today.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I would never have thought 6 months ago, never have imagined that I would have even signed up for something like this. I couldn't even walk without back pain, and here I am.
Were you nervous
So-
starting?
No, I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was on me.
There was a lot of stairs. Let's just.
Oh, when I saw the stairs, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Stairs?
I didn't tell anybody about that. I didn't want anyone to know that there were stairs, but there was at least 3 flights of stairs.
Well, I only had to do the one, and that's what I said. No, we're done.
Yeah.
So,
the point I want to drive home with you, which I think was incredibly inspiring, is one of the things I've noticed as we go out and do this is there are so many people who just think that this is just something that athletes do. You know, and that was my first thought, is like the first time you do a race, it's an athletic event.
Oh, yeah.
And sure, there's some athleticism required, but the reality is once you sign up, you've committed to doing it, and crossing the starting line is where the victory is. Do you finally get that or no?
Yeah.
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 I mean, so I haven't done the math. Maybe someone out there can do the math, but I think there's like
Lee, are you out there?
Yeah, Lee, we need Lee. There's like 1 billion people on the planet. And I'm not sure. I didn't count them all today, but I don't think there was 1 billion people here today. What, were
No,
there?
half.
So you beat probably at least 500 million people.
Yeah,
I mean, really?
I did.
Probably even more than 500 million.
I did.
Because I don't know how many people. I mean, maybe we need to get an official count. We really do. But I'm guessing there weren't even 1 million people here.
No.
So you beat all of them, which is a piece, and that's the kind of the piece I want to leave you with, is that I'm incredibly proud of you. And so your mind was focused, your mind was determined, your mind was locked in. When you committed to doing this, that's where the victory was. And so many people, you can commit to it, and then when the day comes, you can't follow through with that commitment. So it doesn't matter what our physical limitations are. That's irrelevant. As our mental limitations weren't there. Your mentally, you were checked in.
I was there.
A gazillion %.
And the body said, no.
You probably went a little further than you probably should have, in all honesty.
I think I did.
Yeah. So, but cool. What was your favorite thing that you did?
Oh, my God. In the race?
Yeah.
Walked it.
I'm trying to think. Did you?
I didn't do any of that. I didn't. Huh? Oh, the paddle boat.
The paddle boat was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took like a paddle boat. For those listening, we took a paddle boat around this little. We made our own little circle in the pond. Wasn't that fun?
Marie almost put us under the fountain, but hey, that's. I said, I don't want to get wet. Stay away from the fountain.
Tip the boat over. So what would you tell? So you're a pretty inspiring person. I mean, we've shared you on the podcast more than once. You're super duper awesome. So what would you tell everyone out there who just wants to attempt this?
Just do it. Sign up for something and go as far as you can for as long as you can. And that's the victory. If you sign up for it and you start, like he says, there's the victory. So
Very cool.
Next year I will be back and I will complete it.
That's what I wanted to hear. That was what I wanted to hear. That was what I wanted to hear.
I will complete it next year.
Yep. So, and we have a whole year to prep.
Oh, yeah.
I think this will be a standard stop on the international tour. There's no question
Definitely.
about it. Indy
And Cleveland.
and Cleveland.
In Cleveland. It's
And Cleveland.
video. It's taped. It's forever.
You're right. I can delete it. All you do is press this button right here, and the whole thing gets deleted. It's that simple. You know, I don't have to post it anywhere. So
Okay.
Last bit of words for inspiration for everyone out there listening who's curious about their own journey.
We believe in you.
Yeah, we do.
Focus, track everything, and just do it. Do you want to? Do you want to do it? Do it. It's that simple. Do it.
It is and it isn't, right?
Yeah.
I had an interesting conversation when I was up in New York. I haven't even talked about my New York trip yet, but I will eventually. But when I was up in New York, I met an interesting guy who's doing fantastic work in his weight loss. And I made the comment, which I make often. I say, this isn't hard. It's just difficult. And he interrupted me. He said, wait a minute. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And so it took me back for a second because I understand where he's coming from. And this guy is very accomplished, done a lot of amazing things. So when he said that, it made me pause for a second to go, this is hard work. And so the words are interchangeable, whether it's hard, whether it's difficult. It really just requires you to be all in it. And the words he used is, I have to eat. Everywhere I go, there is an opportunity to overeat.
That's
and I gotta figure out what that means. So, well, cool. Well, I'm proud of you. You know that, right?
I know you
drove all the way out here from Cleveland. That in itself tells me where your brain's at. And so just keep doing awesome stuff, and we'll see you next year out here. Cool. Hey,
Bye.
Karen.
Next.
Karen, I want to talk to you. So, folks, for those listening at home, those on Facebook, you may or may not know Karen. Karen is in the Wiseman group as well. But Karen is in my Tuesday meeting, right? Yeah. And so you guys remember the episode with Trevor? Do you remember that episode? Karen, Trevor's mom. Yeah. There we go. So, see? We're just like one big happy family. So, Karen, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, what's going on.
I'm Karen. I live in Westfield, which is really close.
Right.
And I'm just happy to be here.
You're just happy to be here. So, Karen, when you started your weight loss journey, did you ever think you'd get to where you're at now?
No.
Why don't you... where are you at?
I've lost 135.
Wait, say that again?
135.
Say that again?
135.
135 pounds. Isn't that incredible? Come on. Yep. Very, very cool. How's it feel?
Awesome. Totally different.
So, what was the hardest part throughout the journey so far?
Just the challenges of everyday living. I lost my dad, and that was a month into my journey. I found out he had pancreatic cancer, and I thought, oh no, this is it. I'm just going to quit, and this will just be another attempt that it didn't work.
It's the same old, do it again, yeah.
But I knew he was proud of me,
right? And
it kept me going. And he had a weight problem too, and I was like, I'm doing this for Dad.
Very cool. So, how was the Indy Ultimate? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Was it your first time doing it?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was seeing everybody just oh, I remember you.
That was when we were when we first got together. I have a hard time with see, you can tell I can see names a little bit on Facebook, and then all of you have you have a name on Facebook, you have a name on Instagram, you have a wholly different name on Connect, and so I think I have 15,000 followers. It's 6 with 17,000 usernames, and so that's what it is, and so I can't keep it all straight. But when you finally look someone in the eye, and see them in person, and you're like, oh, that's it's there was probably, I don't even remember, 20 or 30 people out there this morning. It was just so cool to hug each and every one of them and say, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So did you make the field goal?
I didn't try it.
You didn't try the field goal?
No.
Did you make the soccer goal? You didn't try that?
Didn't try that one.
Okay. Did you enjoy being on the field?
Yes.
There we go. Last bit of advice for those listening in Facebook land.
Just know that you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do, and just keep at it.
Yep. So, what's your next? Are you gonna do another 5K or something? Are you in the 5K group? I can't remember.
No, I haven't. But Evelyn and I are gonna walk.
Our meeting, for those listening, every week they come in and someone has done a different 5K, and so there's this group of them that keep going. And they're doing more than I am, and I'm like, okay, I should probably step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we'll add you to the list too.
Yep.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for being here. Hey, so 135 pounds. Yeah, that's incredible. Keep up. Awesome work.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I got a really special treat here. You guys may remember Marie. She's gone live on Facebook a couple different times, and we're really just right. Rosalie says, "I'm really loving seeing the real people live." Are you real?
No, I'm Memorex.
No, she's Memorex. How are you?
I'm really awesome.
Get close and introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you are, who you are, what's going on, all that good
Hi,
stuff.
I'm Marie. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I dominated Indy today.
Conquered Indy.
Yes.
So I remember you and I talking on Twitter a long time ago when I first talked about this race. You were like, I don't think I can do it.
Oh, yeah, no. It was like when we first signed up, it was 7 miles.
Right.
And I was like, are you crazy? I thought this was a 5K.
Well, I called them and asked them to shorten it up for you.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I was concerned for you. And I said, well, if I can get it a little shorter, then maybe you'll come out here.
Yeah.
So now that you've done it, what do you think?
It was amazing. I can't wait till next year.
Yeah.
It was just like the coolest experience. I think like for the first time, I felt like an athlete. Even though like I didn't like, I'm just coming off of physical therapy, and so I promised my therapist I would be really careful, but I ran some of it.
Sorry, therapist. Right, we'll say sorry to her.
Sorry. He knew I was going to be running a little bit of it, but I ran some of it, and I got to try kicking a field goal and a soccer goal. And
Did you make the field goal?
No, I made a fool out of myself, but it was fun.
Mine was wide right.
Yeah, mine was wide left and like about 20 feet too low. But that's okay. It was fun.
That doesn't matter though, does it?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing when we start doing some of this fun stuff, and the word, I love your word. I'm going to use that somewhere, that you felt like an athlete.
Yeah.
Is this the first time? This isn't the first time you've done a 5K, but is this is what, your second or third?
This is my fourth. Yeah. And even like during those, I think it was just. This was the first race. I think when I started, I wasn't feeling really nervous about it. It was just.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of all these people.
Right.
They're my family. My family that's here. I know that my family. I know John is watching, and I love you. But these people are family to me, and I was just like, I know, as long as I'm here, they got my back.
Right.
And it's all good.
Right, and we do.
Yeah.
So where are you in your journey?
96 pounds down.
90.
Yeah. I've been fighting that 100-pound mark, but it's coming.
It'll come.
It's coming, man.
Don't fight over it.
No.
So what can you do besides an Indy Ultimate? What can you do now that you weren't doing 96 pounds ago?
I'm living my life. I mean, I can't even begin. It's the little things like going up and down stairs. It's tying my shoes. It's, being engaged with my family in ways I couldn't before. I started out at almost 400 pounds.
Right.
And just being was tiring, just sitting and now I'm living my life for the first time, I think, in, 15, 20 years. It's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what would you tell? So people out there, there's someone right now who's thinking, I can't do this.
Yeah, I used to be you. And I admit there are some days that I still feel that way. But it really is, you were talking about it being hard or difficult, and the hardest part about it for me has always just been believing that this is my time now.
Right.
And this is your time. You are worth it. You are worth every ounce of energy and focus that this takes. And we all, I always say, if I can do this, anybody can do this. But we all do this together. You can do this.
Right. That's kind of funny or interesting how you say it, because that's what got me started. Right. I didn't believe I could do this either. I mean, I've failed at this more often than anything, and so
I've lost count how many times I've failed.
I think I told you on the podcast, I have paid for the app for multiple years straight and never even opened the app.
Right. Yeah.
And so I just thought I was destined to just, at best maybe 10 to 15 pounds I could lose, but I was just kind of destined to just be overweight my entire life, and through the inspiration of Connect and watching other people do it, I slowly went, well, wait a minute. No disrespect to any of them, but they're just regular people.
Exactly.
Regular people.
Right.
Regular people with busy lives, with hard lives, who did it. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I could do that.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
And I failed at this so many times that I can't even count. And, I've lost as much as 30 or 40 or 50 pounds, but that was probably 80 pounds from where I am now. And, I'm trying not, this time it's different. This is my life now. This isn't about me losing so many pounds. This is me living my best life. Right. And as, impatient as I can be with the scale or with other things, this is me now. This is a new me. And
when did that click?
I really think it's just been the past couple of months. Yeah. Like, I wish I can say there was that moment where I know, oh, this is it. I mean, maybe when I started doing the 5Ks. I mean, because that was something.
A new life.
Yeah.
A new
that
activity.
Was totally. When I first started, I couldn't even walk a block.
Yeah.
Like that just totally drained me of all my gas. Right. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll try to do a 5K. And my daughter, my oldest daughter teases me. She's like, you're one of those people now. You're a runner now. Yeah. But I mean, I see when she says it with love. You know, she's.
Did you show them your medal?
Yeah.
Look at that. Show it. Right there. Isn't that cool? You said something on a live podcast or on a live thing last night when you got to Indy that actually I shared it because it touched me a lot. And it's things that I've always felt, but I never was able to put it in the words the way you said it. And you said, we live in this social media age where most of us post our highlight reel.
Right.
We post everything that's amazing in our life. And then most of us sit home and go, man, I wish my life was that good. And then so in some cases, people watch us on social media and then this jealousy kicks in.
Sure.
Where they're like, I wish I could do that. I want to do that. Or I wish, and you addressed that last night. I want you to readdress it because I think it was very, very powerful.
Look, I've spent, most of my life feeling like excluded from groups, whether it was because of my size or just my own insecurity or, seeing all these posts and I'm seeing people saying, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I could do that. And they're here with us. You're all here with us. And I just thought it was important to acknowledge that because I felt that way so many times. And there are still times I feel that way. Even, a year plus into this, there are still times that, I compare myself to other people or think that, I don't know. It just really touched me last night after meeting some of these amazing people here. I've never felt more included than I have in this group. And even though you may not be here with us physically, you're all here.
Right.
You're part of us. And I just thought that was really important to say that it was not intended to make anybody feel excluded. It was meant to let you know that you're here with us and you're part of the in crowd.
Right.
This is like the ultimate in crowd because everybody is welcome. Right. But that's what makes it so special. And that's what I love about it.
It's the coolest thing ever when you finally you and I agree on a lot of things. You finally get to a point where you're in a group of people who get it.
You get it, yeah.
Get it. I mean, we understand, when someone says, no, I don't want cheese on my burger and sends it back.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
When someone cuts it in half and says, I only, and throws it away, I get that.
Yeah.
My wife, I love her. Guys, we talk about time. I love her. She doesn't get it.
Yeah.
In that same sense.
Right. And that's okay, though. And I think that's something else that we all need to kind of look at, too, is that, I have a spouse that hasn't dealt with that. I've got kids and, just because it's my problem doesn't make it their problem. But they have to be able to help me, support me, and they do that. But it doesn't mean that they get me in the same way. But that's okay. I've learned that that's okay.
Right.
That's not a bad thing. It's just different.
Yep. And that was a hard thing for me because, I have incredible support. It's just not the same support as someone who's walked the path ahead of me and said, Mike, come this way. Come this way. We can keep doing this. And that's cool. So I'm glad you addressed that because it's things that I've always thought in my head. I never really addressed it the way you did. And when you posted that last night, I watched it, and I almost had a tear. I'll be honest with you, I did because I was like, yes, that's exactly it. Because I have, as you guys know, I have a teenage daughter who I see that when she goes out and posts, and her friends go somewhere else, they get upset with, well, wasn't invited. It's like, no. We get that not everyone could be here. But we carry this forward for everybody. And I said that when I went to New York, as I represent the community at this point. This is no longer about me. This is about us and the community.
Yeah, it's about the family.
Yeah.
It's all about family, whether it's blood or or not. Blood doesn't make family.
Right. Right.
Love and commitment and just dedication to each other makes a family, and we've got that in spades.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome community. So I'm super duper proud of you. You know that, right? I tell you all the time on Twitter.
Yes, you do.
So you're we stalk each other back and forth on Twitter. So I think it's fun. I think that's the most active social media that I'm on is Twitter.
Yeah.
I can get that the easiest for me, but I tell you all the time, I'm super duper proud of you. When I knew you were coming here, there was a point where you were kind of on the fence. We talked about it earlier.
Right.
I was nervous that you weren't going to come because I really wanted to meet you. Because I told you this too on Twitter. The first time I met you, I found you on Instagram. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. So I was watching you on Instagram getting it done, and I was inspired. And here I was at goal, happy, life is good. And I'm like, this lady's inspiring me. And so I started following you. I don't know if you were following me at the time or not, but I started following you on Instagram because I was like, okay, this is awesome. So, and then when I found out that you were coming here, it just completely made my day. And I was like, yeah.
I signed up back in April. So like,
what was your number?
What was my number?
Your race number today? Do you remember?
1496, I think, or something like that.
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, last bit of advice for everyone listening. How awesome are you, and why are they awesome too?
You're awesome because you're you. That's why you're awesome. You don't need any other reason. Just believe in yourself, and if you can't believe in yourself, find somebody, whether it's Mike or somebody in this group or a family member, to just encourage you. Because let me tell you, I know a lot of us post and we post awesome things, but I try to keep it real too. Like it's not always pretty and it's not always good, and that's okay. It's part of the process. And just believe in yourself because you are worth it 10,000%.
Right. That's awesome. Well, give me a hug. Proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll see you before, but we'll see you next year here.
Oh, I'll be here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next up, come on, Diane. Let's get Diane in here. Diane is awesome. Just so you know, this will be the last time Diane's ever welcome in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, great.
Yeah. So you came to Indianapolis back in March.
Right.
And we got 9 feet of snow.
Yeah.
It felt like 9 feet of snow.
Yes,
A foot of snow.
A foot of snow.
And then today we get half of a hurricane.
Yeah. I know.
You now need to make sure you let us know when you're coming back.
Okay.
Okay?
You gotta plan for it.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of town. Like, for real. Yeah. I'm going to go to New York. So tell everyone who you are, what's going on.
I'm Diane. I'm from Illinois. This was my first time I've ever driven 3.5 hours. I know a lot of people laugh at me when I say I've never driven that far before, but I'm not a big driver, local and everything. So I drove here because I really wanted to come. I started Weight Watchers 4 years ago. And I was 289 pounds. I've lost 155 pounds.
Wow.
And
wait, we always have to say that number twice. We just can't say it once,
155 pounds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And sometimes it's hard to believe that I ever really made it down this far.
Right.
Because I didn't even think I was going to make it because I've lost weight before and gained it all back 2-3 times at least already.
So in your journey to lose 155 pounds, were you 100% perfect the entire time?
No, not
Really?
at all.
Wait. So are you saying that it's actually possible to keep going even if you're not perfect?
Yes, just don't quit.
Huh.
Don't ever quit.
That's interesting. I say that in my meeting room all the time. My meeting folks know that. That's the question I always ask people. Is like, were you 100% perfect? And very rarely does someone say, well, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
They're like, no. And so, Marsha's perfect. We know that. Cool. What was your favorite event today?
Basically, first, just being able to walk the whole thing.
Right.
I wasn't able to walk across the parking lot before without getting out of breath. And walking 5-7 miles, whatever it was, had to stop a couple times because I'm thinking, what am I doing? This doesn't seem like me, But when I tell people I'm doing this, they're like, you?
Right.
Yeah, but I liked the paddle bar. the paddle boats, and then I did throw football. Missed it completely.
You didn't make it in?
No.
How did you? I don't know. How did you do with throwing the spear?
I didn't throw the spear.
Okay.
I didn't. No.
I tried that, and if I had to rely on my skill for throwing a spear to kill and eat, I would never have gained weight. I promise you, I never would have been overweight if that was maybe that's how the Indians stayed so thin back in the day. I don't know. Apparently that survival instinct kicked in. So, so how many in the group have you met before? Anybody? Just a couple, right?
Just a couple, yes. And then, so that was another big thing, is meeting the people that, inspire me. And because that too, you're with a community that gets it, it's like a lot of friends and people, they just don't understand. Or you can stop now. It's like, no, I can't ever stop.
Right.
It's like, no.
I'm doing this for life.
Yeah, I'm doing this, or you can eat more now that you're at Lifetime. It's like, because I just made Lifetime in February.
Yeah. Very cool.
So, after the 4 years, and I finally hit my goal in Lifetime in February. So, now that you can eat a little more now, it's like, no, or you can eat things you left out. I'm like, no, I can't, because I know what will happen. It's happened before. So it's like I'm still very focused.
I said that the other day that, when we completely change our life, and then when we get to goal, we get to Lifetime, we want to celebrate. There's no doubt we need to celebrate that accomplishment. But so many of us have not had a chance to celebrate in our new body that we don't know how to celebrate properly.
Right.
So we go celebrate the way the old body celebrated. And that usually isn't good.
No.
And then it's hard to recover, because then you're bringing back all those addictions, you're bringing back all that food, and it's like, So where are you going next so we can alert the Weather Channel?
Yeah, it's like Florida. They'll probably have a hurricane. Well, not season, but they'll get one anyway.
Yeah. What was changing gears? What was the hardest part for this journey, the entire journey for you?
Hardest part, just realizing that even though it took, because I always thought it took me long, but then now after doing it, I realized I had a 4-year education of food education. So just staying on it, knowing that I was doing things that I was supposed to do, and that it eventually was going to come off, or eventually had to change one way or the other. But
so you say the hardest part for you was just just sticking with it,
just
knowing
sticking
that
with it, knowing
those small numbers just add up to 135.
Because that's how I lost my weight, not about a pound or so a week.
Perfect.
Point this, point that, and after a while you're like, oh my God, it's just, and then all of a sudden, I might get a 2.
Right.
And then it was 0.2, 0.5, and then 3, But I celebrated when I had a 3-pound loss. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Very fun. So last bit of advice for everyone watching, what would you say if someone today, first time, they have no idea who we are, what we're doing, but they know what the community is about and they want to get started, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, get started, do the best you can. Every little amount of weight you lose counts, and eventually it adds up, and you just keep going. You never quit.
Yep.
Just don't quit.
Did you have any weeks in your 4-year journey where the scale had a positive number?
Oh, yeah.
And you were able to reverse that too?
Yeah.
So you don't have to be perfect, and if you gain weight, you can
actually lose it. Yep.
Man, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I thought you had to just keep losing, and once you gained, you quit.
No. No.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for being on here. We're going to have dinner in a little bit. So who's up next? Come on, Rhonda. Yep. Keith was over there. Keith went like this on Rhonda's head. So this is kind of fun. How are you? Here, throw these on. You'll be able to hear me.
Oh, my goodness.
A little better. You'll be able to hear you too. Get really close. Tell everyone, say hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well.
Doing well. So tell everyone who you are, where you're from, how awesome you are.
I'm Rhonda Centuello. I'm an active duty nurse midwife at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, Tennessee.
How long have you been active duty?
24 years.
24 years. Thank you for an amazing career, by the way. And Rhonda told me something earlier. Apparently, everything I do, Rhonda wants to do.
That's true.
Right. So when I decided I was going to retire from the military, Rhonda said, "Oh, I will too." And she picked one day ahead of mine.
That's true.
We should do like a joint party.
We should. No.
I'm kidding.
Well, because my HR told me that to do my 25, if I do it the month before, it'll be 24, basically 11 months and 29 days. So I had to do the 25 and 31 days.
Gotcha. Right on the nose. So what was your favorite? You ran the entire event today.
I did.
In an hour and a half.
I did.
It took us like...
An hour and a half?
Yeah.
I ran.
3 hours and 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I ran.
So she ran. So she went out. She said, so you take this serious. This is a race.
Correct.
Yeah. So 5 miles, right? What was the most fun obstacle you did?
So I like Diane, I liked the paddle boat.
Okay.
And then, crazily enough, when I wanted to kill them at the field house, I did like the stairs, up and down.
You ran up the stairs.
Yeah, well, they told you. They said short, big flight.
Man, I didn't even run up the stairs. That's crazy. So, first time doing a 5K? No, right? You've done races before.
I usually do half marathons.
Okay.
Because I like that distance.
Right.
So this is actually the first ever short race I've done.
So is it harder or easier than a half marathon? Or different?
Harder, I think. Yeah,
A lot more stairs.
Yeah, and the obstacles, I'm used to just being able to kind of jog. So I don't like to run per se. I'm a power walker.
Okay.
But even though I'm short, my typical walking pace, like my normal pace without trying, it's about 15 minutes a mile. So I move.
That's a quick walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a nurse midwife. I walk quick.
That's the deal. I'm busy. I got things to do.
Correct. But anyway, so with the half marathon pace, I can run 4, 5, 6, 7 miles, and then totally walk the rest of it and come in plenty of time with the 4 hours to get the medal. So it's not difficult to me, where this one seemed a little bit harder because it's in my head.
Right.
Correct.
That's an interesting point. Like the mental piece really takes over, right?
Correct.
And you have to, and that's what I was telling Marcia is Marcia beat the mental game. If you don't beat the physical game, there's nothing you can do about that, really.
Right.
But if you give up mentally, it's a whole different world. But
Correct.
But if you're locked in mentally, you can accomplish anything that you physically are capable of doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So where are you at in your journey? Your lifetime, right?
I am lifetime and have been for 10 months this year.
Awesome.
Or this month.
Yeah, 10 months at lifetime.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Very cool.
And it's the longest I've ever kept the weight off.
Really?
It is.
Does it feel different?
It does this time, I think, because I've actually never, like Diane said, I never stuck around long enough to get to goal. My leader was so surprised. She's like, Rhonda, are you getting back to lifetime? I'm like, oh no, I stopped last time 6 pounds away because I thought I had it. Yeah, that didn't work.
I've seen and heard so many people get really close to goal and they just, I don't say they give up. They just believe that they can just go take it on their own. Does that work?
No, at least not for me.
Right, same here, right? It may, but no.
No,
right.
No. I can't even do online on my own. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Props for the people who can.
Keith is online only, 98 pounds.
I know.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
I can't do online only.
I can't. I can't even open the app if I'm not waiting in front of somebody.
Right. So what would you tell everyone was the hardest part?
Of Weight Watcher?
The whole thing. Yeah, the weight of losing. How much did you lose total? 40.
So 40.
Yep.
The hardest part, just like Diane says, keep going, and you're gonna have. Well, at least me, I had gains.
Yep.
And I also lost mine in point increments. It took me. So I've lost 40 total, but to get to goal was 32.
Okay.
And it took me 11 and a half months.
Very cool.
Yeah, so very, very slow in point increments.
And doable.
Yeah, totally doable. You just have to not give up.
What would you tell everyone, brand new advice, starting today?
embrace freestyle, and basically find something that you can do and eat what you like, because it really is a lifestyle change. So find what you like to eat and are comfortable eating, because that's what you're going to need to continue eating.
And just keep it over and over and over. If you have to have beans, keep eating beans. Right?
Correct. Yeah, if you have to, like me, if you like whiskey, keep it.
Very cool. Well, I'm super duper proud of you. I was, my intent last year when I did this race was to run it this year. And so that was kind of my goal. And when everybody showed up, says, I actually just wanted to walk but I'm super jealous of you getting out and running it, because I think it would be a fun course to run.
It was very nice.
I don't know that I could have done it in an hour and a half though.
I was surprised, but I had just finished a hot half marathon last weekend.
Did you skip like half the course?
I only skipped the javelin and the basketball dribbling.
Gosh,
because
we waited in line for 20 minutes just to throw the javelin.
Oh, so that one was probably about a 5 minutes, so I bypassed that, but I did the paddle boats. I did everything but, like I said, the basketball dribbling, because I suck at. I even threw the football, and I did the soccer ball, and I took some selfies. Yeah.
As a lieutenant colonel in the Army, what did you think when those privates were yelling at you and the specialist was yelling at you? Was that hard to take or what?
No, actually, I said that I hadn't done the water jugs around the circle since basic training, so it was pretty cool. And then 2 of the soldiers, I got a selfie with them. Good. 2 staff sergeants. They were on the paddle. Okay. Yeah, so we won.
Gotcha. I always wanted, when I did it last year and I was running through it and all these guys were yelling at me, I wanted to pull my ID card out and go, listen, stop yelling at me.
No, I actually congratulated them, because I know how that uniform smells when it's wet. It's like a wet dog. It's bad.
Fun. It's not fun. Well, cool. Well, you're incredibly inspiring as well. And where did you come from? Tell everyone how far you drove to get here.
4 hours. I came from Fort Campbell.
Yeah, from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So all the way out here just to hang out with this group. So awesome. Well, very, very proud of you.
Thanks.
See ya. Next. All right. I love it when they're not shy.
I'm not shy.
Give me a high five.
A lot of people mistake me for Marcia at work.
Here, throw this. You'll be able to hear a little bit. Get really close. Tell everyone who you are, what's going on, how awesome you are.
Hey, everybody. My name's Debbie Giardini. I'm always signing in as Debbie G, or actually that's my Connect name is Debbie G 48-2, because I was 48 when I joined. And the 2 is because I didn't like just Debbie G at 48. So I actually signed in as Debbie, Rockford, Illinois. So it's supposed to be like a 3 to 4 hour trip. It took me 5 hours due to construction, rain, and traffic.
Yeah. So what's the best, give us how much, where did you start? Let's do that journey.
So, I have an unusual journey. So I am not a Weight Watchers proper. Okay. My journey started 9 years ago. I was over 280 some pounds. And I woke up one morning going, this is crazy. How many times do I have to do this in my life? My weight loss journey probably started in middle school with chiding from my family going, how are you going to get a boyfriend? Are you ever going to get married? Blah, blah, blah. You're not good enough. You need to lose weight. You could be a model. So this is my third journey, but I woke up going, this is crazy. My daughter is going into high school, and who knows where I'm going to be when she goes to college or she gets married. I don't want to be that fat grandma sitting on the sidelines. So I lost 105 pounds all on my own in about 2.5 years.
Say that again. Always.
105 pounds, but that's not my grand total.
Wow.
My grand total is 145 pounds.
145 total.
145 total. I lost half of myself.
Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible.
So do you feel different?
I did. I even felt different when I was 105 pounds light. And then I gained 32 when I joined Weight Watchers. Okay. So my goal was to lose my 32 plus maybe a little bit more, 40. I actually lost a total of 65. Through Weight Watchers, and I joined because I had gained some weight. So when I was losing weight, people at work like, oh, do you feel different? You got all this energy? And I was like, no, I don't. I lost 105 pounds. I have energy. This 30-pound weight gain I didn't feel. It took me to lose that 30 plus some pounds to actually feel more energized. Okay. So, It's been a completely different story. And by the way, the word that you were looking for is galactagogues.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Galactagogues.
Galactagog.
Galactagog. There you go.
Galactagog.
That is
like
for making more milk. It is like that.
It's like a spaceship.
It is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's too funny. So what was your favorite event today?
Okay, well, there are probably many of them. Actually, I love burpees. So when they had us do the water jug, I actually ran them. And I am not in military, but I wanted to get in their face and tell them to drop it because I could be so colonel. I really could.
Oh, you would get promoted quickly if you were colonel. You would be on the list. We'd get you promoted. You'd be a 2 or 3 star general for sure.
And so I would. I do not do well with, I like giving orders, not taking them very much. So I'd be going, no, you drop it and I'll go right along with you.
I can see that.
So, but my actual favorite was when I walked into the aquatic center. I am a swimmer and diver by nature. And the first thing I said to the guys, can I go off the platform? And he's like, no, you can come back later and maybe try it. And I'm like, seriously? I so want to get in the water and touch it.
Did you end up touching the water at all?
No, I didn't.
No. We'll have to get you back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's so fun. So how do you lose 145 pounds?
So my motto on Facebook is determination, perseverance, and perseverance. That has been my motto for life. And I was like, you have to take this and live your motto. And that's what I kind of did. I've always taught my daughter, we both suffer from a learning disability of dyslexia. And I've always said, I've known that she was a very, very smart girl. I know what her IQ is. But we have roadblocks. And I was like, if you have determination and you press on and you keep at it, you can be that A student. You can achieve anything that you want in life. So I had to take my own motto and really ingest it. And that was kind of hard. I know you're like, what was the hardest part of your journey? Mine, I wouldn't say losing weight. I actually had to face my demons on why was I overweight? What was it through my life? What happened through different things that made me want to stay fat and obese. And some of that actually started with my spiritual connection with God and reading the Bible and looking towards that and getting guidance and stuff. So both of those were life changers, and that's what made me face my demons, was I had somebody that I could trust in, knowing that the person may not be here physically, but I can lay all those down somewhere.
Throw it all up in the air and say it's in your hands.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's get through this.
Yep. You said something that I thought was actually interesting because I'd heard other people say it. And when it comes to people with either abilities or differing abilities is the word I always use, because you can find your strengths. No matter what you do have strengths. And if you play on those strengths and just continue to use your strengths in ways that benefit you, then just about anything becomes possible. But when you tell your brain you can't because you have a disability, you limit yourself from even attempting an alternate way to do it.
Right.
And so...
And I also say, I grew up with a lot of negative. So I had to learn how to release that too and then find my strengths, because I knew my strengths is I'm a NICU nurse. And I was one that was told, she'll never go to school. She'll, teach her a trade because she's not smart, when I was in the 70s. And I became a D student to a B+ student in college, and I figured out my strengths. So I had to figure out what were my strengths and put it part of this journey. So I tell people, where your strong points are. Feed on those. Yeah.
I'll have to find it, because one of the podcasts I listened to, there was a guy, and he has severe ADHD. And so he said he has in his closet, he has clothes laid out for depending on where he's going for the day. So he doesn't have to think about it. Because what he said is he walks into his closet and he would say, I have to do a TV show today. And he'd go, oh, maybe I'll wear a sweater. Oh, that sweater's nice. Julie got me that sweater on Christmas. Oh, I remember Christmas. The last Christmas I got a truck. And so his brain goes down this rabbit hole. And so what he had to do is say, no, wait a minute. I know that when I go into my closet, I'm going to be overwhelmed. So he labels his closet based on what his event is. So he walks into it, grabs something, doesn't think about it, and walks out. And so he channels his inner ability to get it done. I thought it was an amazing story. I need to go find it, because it was just, it reframed my brain to let me know that we can all do whatever we are really capable of doing.
We really can.
Very cool. Well, I'm super proud of you. Last bit of advice for the awesome people listening.
I like to say, I do believe you can do it, because I did it. But my thing would be, you gotta have that determination, perseverance, and commit. Right. It's just committing and figuring out what it's keeping you, holding you back, and letting it go.
So same thing, were you 100% perfect the entire way through?
Oh, God, no. And one thing that I learned was I always tried to be perfect, and there is nothing such as perfect in this world.
Right. Awesome. Well, keep up the great work.
All right.
Very
awesome.
Proud of you. Very, very inspiring. Come on. So we're just kind of hanging out. We're gonna all go have dinner in a little bit, but I just want to get and just if you don't want to, just politely decline. But I want everyone to come over here. But if for some reason you're like, how are you? Put those on. You'll be able to hear yourself because I know that's what you're interested in hearing.
Nice.
Introduce yourself. Say hi. Tell
Hi.
everyone who you are, where you are, where you're from.
My name is Jennifer Cunningham, and I'm from Huffman, Texas.
Wait, Texas. That's
Texas. I flew to Indianapolis
That's
to
like 5
be at
states away.
to be at the Indy Ultimate to hang out with you today.
Why would you do that?
You changed my life, Fat Dag. You completely changed my life.
I did not change your life. I told you it was
yes,
possible.
you did.
I told
No.
you it was possible, and you decided to change it.
You changed my life.
Tell me about it.
So, in 2016, I decided to join Weight Watchers for, I don't know, the 5th time.
Okay.
And I joined, and I probably lost, I don't know, maybe 15 pounds or whatever. And I got into that complacency stage where my stuff was fitting good again.
Right.
So my company had this step challenge, and I had been wanting to get a Fitbit.
Okay.
So I was sure, we're going to go into my in-laws. We're going to go to New York, and we're going to, hang out with them for a week. So I decided to buy a Fitbit, and I tracked my steps, and I did this and that. And then a couple of weeks later, my awesome Weight Watcher leader, her name is Brandy Anderson.
Hi, Brandy Anderson.
Yeah, so she was awesome. And then, a few weeks later, I found out about Fat Dag.
Okay.
And it was a complete game changer. And I don't care what you say. I don't care. I know that you're always all about, well, I'm just a tool and I'm just, a piece of this. Well, you can say that, but I have been fat my whole entire life, my whole life. And I finally found your podcast, and I don't know, something clicked, and it just made sense. And I was able to get to goal.
And so, okay, wait, say that again. I was able to get to goal.
Yeah.
Awesome. How what's the total weight loss?
68 pounds.
Wow.
It is. It truly is life-changing.
Say it again. How many?
68.
68. So what were you 68 pounds ago when you walked into Weight Watchers for the very first time? What was your mind thinking?
I'll lose a couple of pounds.
Right. I'll try this thing.
And you say that all the time. It's okay if you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
It's okay because eventually you will believe in yourself. And I got to that point. When I was about 30 pounds into it, I knew I was going to get to goal.
Right. You made goal mentally.
I did.
Right. So obviously you've heard me say that before.
Yeah.
You believe it?
And at that point, I knew I was going to get to goal. But until then, I needed you to carry me.
I would gladly carry you.
I needed you to tell me that it's okay. I'm going to get to goal because I knew that I would.
Right.
Because I knew all I had to do was just track breakfast.
That's it.
And then all I had to do was track lunch.
That's it.
Then all I had to do was track dinner.
And that's it. And track Corona. Just saying, right? I mean,
just saying.
So, how was the race today? Was it a little wet?
It was awesome. No?
Well, did you not go? The rest of us got wet.
So in my mind, my sister lives in Indianapolis. I flew it from Huffman, Texas.
Texas.
Woohoo, Huffman!
Go Huffman.
Who's there for Huffman? So I flew it from Huffman, Texas, and I thought to myself, okay, this is going to be a complete washout. It's going to be awful. But you know what? It didn't pour.
No.
It wasn't 90 degrees.
Right.
I didn't even have to put on my sunscreen.
Right.
It was a nice little drizzly. It kept everything cool. It was perfect. It was perfect.
What was your favorite obstacle?
Kicking. Okay. I hope my husband isn't listening because he's a huge Texans fan. It was kicking the field goal at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah. Did you make it?
No.
So we're not signing you either. You can go back to Texas.
Did anybody?
You can kick for Texas all you want.
Yeah.
We'll have Texas sign you.
Yeah. Are you coming to Houston?
I heard that you've invited me to come to Houston.
I have.
I will absolutely come to Houston. If you come to Indianapolis, I will gladly come to Houston.
Awesome.
It only makes sense, right? I think I owe you one at this point.
Yeah.
So,
can I share this with you?
Yep.
Okay. So throughout the entire 7-mile walk, I had a chance to talk with your daughter and your wife.
Okay.
So I had the amazing opportunity to talk to your wife, because you talk all the time about how they're skinny and they've never had a weight problem, right?
Right.
And so they don't get it.
Right.
And so when my sister was talking about you, I welled up. When I first saw you, I welled up. That's just what we do, right? He changed our lives. Fat Dad changed our lives. And so whenever I'm going to be, 5 miles, in the distance, I'm going to well up. I'm going to get a little emotional, right? And so his wife was talking about this woman in some parking lot who saw him and how she got a little emotional because he saw, oh my God, Fat Dad. And she couldn't understand it because she burst into tears. I'm like, I get that. I completely get that. Because he changed my life. And I don't care what you say. I don't care that you say that I'm just one of your tools and blah, 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 blah.
So I get where that comes from.
You completely changed. Mike, you completely changed my life. And you can say that all the day long. But you know what? I have been fat my whole life. And then you come into my life.
You look great. That's why we put you on Facebook. You look great now. So I will take a little bit of credit for your life, for how awesome your amazing life is. You're welcome. I gave you all of that. And the reason I agree. So my Weight Watcher leader, Terry, she ran with us today. I don't know if you guys got to meet Terry.
Love her.
So Terry was out there today. And so I said the exact same thing to her. When I was doing this program off and on, and I found her or she found me somewhere in the middle of my journey, and she didn't know we were neighbors. And so she had said to me, she stalked me on Connect and she said, Mike, would you come, or I forget how it worded, but anyway, I posted something. She's like, oh my God, you're in Indianapolis. I'm like, yeah. She goes like, would you come to my meeting? And so I went to her meeting and we met for the very first time. And from that moment on, she carried me because she believed in me. At a point where I wasn't, I have a lot of different things. I'd Connect that believed in me, but an actual person in person to believe in me was instrumental. So I understand when someone says, you changed my life. I'm like, yeah, I get it because Terry changed mine. I get that. But then I just take it one step further. And for everyone, it's like, I'm willing to do that. I'm glad to do that. But what I need you to understand is there were times where you made the decisions using my words, using my inspiration, but I wasn't there telling you no. And so that's the piece that I want you to celebrate, is the fact that you use the tool properly. I am able to provide you inspiration, but when things get hard and when things get difficult internally, you have the strength to do it. And that's why I don't want to take credit, because I want you to understand how awesome you are to have done it times when you didn't have me to tell you to do it. And you were still able to do it. And so we'll take shared credit. We could do a 50-50 if you want, but I think you're super duper awesome.
Well, I just think that's so funny that your wife think that's so funny that somebody emotional that doesn't even know you, a stranger, comes up to you and starts bawling. And I'm just like, I get that.
Well, she unfortunately, she gets to see the pile of laundry next to my bed. She's like, the hamper's like right there. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And so she gets to see the not so good side of me. She gets to see the side of me like, hey, Mike, can you take the trash cans out? I'm like, yeah, I will in just a second. And then I hear the trash cans going down the street by themselves, So that's the side of you. And that's why I said I'm not all that, Cool. Now she's awesome, but you're right. You can't replace true support from people who walked the journey. You can't replace that. So Texas, what's Texas like this time of year? Nice and cool like this?
So Texas is pretty awesome. And I have to say, I work in a chemical plant, and I have recently reached out to Fat Dad, and I have asked him to join me in a fit program. And my boss is on board, and hopefully Fat Dag's going to come down in January and talk to us in Texas, and he's going to spread his message about the why, not about the how.
Right.
Because we all know how to lose weight, right? You drink more water, you eat fruits and vegetables, and blah, 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 blah. But it truly is about the why. And Mike has truly made us see that and understand that. And so he's going to come in and talk to us at a chemical plant in Houston, Texas, and he's going to help us understand that it's about the why that makes the difference. Not everybody understands the how, it's about the why.
Maybe we'll run a 5K the next day or something.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so when I signed up, I did not realize that was the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday, so probably not a good chance.
Okay. Well, probably maybe it'd be the Texans and the Patriots playing each other. Is that even possible?
Then the Texans would kick those Patriots' butt.
Whatever. Well, you're incredibly inspiring, and I truly appreciate all the kind words. So we'll share credit only because you won't let me tell you how awesome you are in that sense. But last bit of advice for all the awesome people out there listening: how do they get this done, or why do they get this done, or what do they need to know?
One step at a time. Take small goals. Yep. Small goals. Every week, set yourself a goal, right? So I'm gonna eat 3 vegetables or fruits every day, or just whatever small goals that you have that it truly adds up and it makes a difference. The small goals.
Cool. Well, I told you I believe in you, and I'm glad you now believe in yourself, and so we believe in each other. And I'm incredibly proud of you. You're super awesome. And when I heard you were coming in from Texas, I was like
Huffman, Texas.
Yeah, well, I started looking. I'm like, is there because we have a Brazil, Indiana. So I was thinking, okay, there must be like a Texas, Indiana, And so, but no, it's like Texas.
Yeah, it's Huffman, Texas.
We're near Houston.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes outside of Houston.
Which way? North, southwest?
Northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, give me a big hug. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, super. How fun is that? All right, who's up next? Where are we going? Come on. Is this fun or what? I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I mean, I do this all the time now.
You just show up at random restaurants and pull out the microphone.
I'm sure the place right now is like, what are they doing? And I'm like, I don't care.
I can't hear anything. Are you talking?
All right, lean in, talk.
Oh. Okay.
Just introduce, say hi, say who are you?
Hi, I'm Barb Spall from Downers Grove, Illinois.
All right.
I've lost 41.6 pounds. Woo! My goal is 52 pounds.
Wait. We say it again.
41.6.
41.6.
Most I've ever lost is 20 on Weight Watchers.
Okay.
This is my 6th and final journey. Because my leader, Ann, has been my leader over the years.
Hi, Ann. Thank you.
Ann and Downers Grove and Wheaton. I go to 2 meetings a week. And the 6th time I went in, she said, Barbara, you do me a favor. Will you give me 52 weeks? And I said, I'm not going to be doing this that long.
Yeah.
And she goes,
I want this done quicker.
Yeah, right. And so she said, just give me 52 weeks. And so I thought, okay, I was going to, turning 52. I thought I could lose 52 pounds and I'll give her 52 weeks and that'll be great. So I did it and I didn't lose all of it, obviously the first year. And then I gave her another 52.
Okay.
I'm 4.5 years in here and I'm most proud of the fact that I haven't quit yet.
Right.
So
wait. What do you mean? Wait. Why did you say yet?
Because I had not always quit before.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to quit because this is my life.
Right.
And now that I have learned to eat healthfully, you had said it's like a food education,
right.
Food school. So I thought I was going to get my bachelor's in 4 years and then I was going to get my master's. So I would have been at goal already. But it's like I've learned that I've been through all these seasons of life, whether it's job loss or death or whatever, and I haven't gained the weight back.
Right.
So I've navigated. I'm just proud of myself, I guess.
Proud of you
Yeah, I just. So
walk me through the decision for why would you come to Indianapolis? Because there's plenty of races in Illinois, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do. Well, we do a Thanksgiving race in Downers Grove, a 5K, just a walk. So this will be the 3rd year that we've done it, and So Lisa, my wife over here, I said, okay, so are you off on September 8th? And she goes, well, I could probably get off. Sure. She comes home with the schedule and she goes, wait, what was September 8th? I am not off. I'm like, what do you mean you're not off? I go, well, because it's the Fat Dag Indianapolis thing. She goes, the what Fat Dag Indianapolis thing? And so she showed me this flip chart of literally like 7 job swaps for people to fill her schedule if she could go this weekend. She goes, this is what I would have to do. I go, uh-huh.
Okay. So why haven't you started doing that?
Right. So I said, okay. She goes, were you going to go by yourself? I go, I hadn't thought that much through yet, but can you go? And she said, yes, she could go. So we're driving down here and she goes, okay, so fill me in. You know, what, I don't get it.
Right.
So then I played a podcast as we're driving in the rain, in the construction. And I said, here's the thing. It's because it's that belief that you have that we borrow until we can believe our own.
Right.
And it's powerful. You came to Wheaton.
Yep.
That was the first meetup thing I'd ever done. I was going to work and I thought, God, I really want to go because all these people were coming, but it was like out of my comfort zone because it was like, how do I go meet? I go to my meetings and I know all my people and my row and everything, but to go to a room where you don't know people, it was a little anxiety ridden, you know? But then you were there and it was like, that was just cool. I don't know. And you had driven like the 3 hours.
I did.
And I thought, God, who drives 3 hours to go do something? And when you got up to talk, you said, I just want to say thank you because everyone I connect and everybody supported me. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. So that was kind of a full circle moment. We'll go to Indianapolis then.
Well, cool. Very cool. So how was the race today? You get wet too?
A little bit, actually more at the end.
Right.
It was like not a bad thing. So
when we were standing around taking pictures when the rain came. Like there's no proof anymore.
Right.
So what was your favorite obstacle?
I don't know. It wasn't the obstacle, but my favorite time was when we walked into the football stadium.
Wasn't that cool?
I'm not really a football person, but somehow they say your name over the speaker.
Right.
And then you walk in. It was just cool. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, next time I want to register and have Fat Dag on there. And welcome, Fat Dag.
Right.
You know, like, they said Mike Daggett. I'm like, no.
Well, there was some girl's name they announced like 10 times. And somebody must have said, say it 10 times or something, but it was over the loudspeaker. It was just cool.
Right. Did you throw the pass through the whatever it's called?
I threw it, did not make it.
Didn't make it. No.
I did make a basketball hoop.
You did?
I had to get a little close.
Yeah, all right. So we have 2 points over here. A 2-pointer.
Yeah.
Very, very fun.
That was good.
So, best piece of advice you could give someone just starting out?
I think to just do it. Because these ladies at work now think I'm the healthy person, which I take as a really cool compliment.
Right.
Like, oh, how do you do it? You're just, oh, Barb's so healthy. And I think,
Yeah. That's right.
Right. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I wish I could do that. I go, did you have breakfast today? This one lady. And she goes, well, no. I go, tomorrow you should just eat breakfast.
Right.
I saw her the next day. I go, so did you eat breakfast? She goes, I did. And I thought, be the prize.
Be the prize.
Right?
Right. Yeah, you can't convince someone else to do this. The best you can do is convince them that it's worth it.
Right.
You know, and then they have to on their own say, okay, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to just do it.
Yeah. It feels good to be worth it.
What's the rest of your journey look like?
Well, I kind of was torn between that, no finish line nation.
Right.
And then you say, but there is a finish line because it's a race. And like, this is this race. Doesn't mean there won't be another race.
Right.
So I think that's been a mind shift is to think of it as like, I want to get to goal and that's one race. And then I want to get to lifetime and that's another race. Right. So it's not like it never ends, but I do want to accomplish that.
Right.
That's like,
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, I love those guys. You know that. I love, but we have a different philosophy. And
right.
So my thought is I needed to accomplish this.
Right.
I needed to say, no, I did that. And if you told me it was, if you told me today, hey, we're going to run an Indy Ultimate, there's no finish line, we'd still be out there.
Right. Well, every morning I walk and I listen to the podcast and it's like, what's your why? What's your why? And I'm like, God, what's my why? Like, I don't have a good why. What? Like, oh, get healthy, blah. Like, that's not a good why. And then there was one episode, I don't know, it was 207 or something. A lady said, Nicole something. I kept trying to get her email. I just wrote it down like 10 times. I couldn't spell it right. But it was, I like this version of me and I like my new life, basically. That's my why. And she said it more eloquently than that. But I thought, that's my why. Because I like the new me.
Right.
And it feels like I'm who I'm supposed to be.
Very cool. So do you feel, I know you feel different, but do you feel more energy, more confident?
Oh my God, totally.
Night and day, right?
Oh yeah, completely.
And so that's one of the things that no matter how you get to goal, I think it's important to get there because there is a feeling when you get there that you've never, and me, I never felt it before. And so I don't ever want to give that feeling back, you know? And so it was a feeling I wasn't sure of. I didn't know existed. And so when I finally found it, I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I like this.
I think it's that when people rattle off that list of, I want to be able to go in my closet and wear anything I want. I want to be able to just order something in the mail and not worry that it's going to fit and like stuff like that. And I never would have done that stuff before,
right.
To order a medium shirt and have it like not even be a no-brainer that it would fit. It would be like, before I'd be like, I hope they have the right thing, and it'd be all, a big deal.
I would have showed up at the race years ago, and I would have asked for my extra large shirt, and I would have gone to the restroom, tried it on, and then come back and said, "Can I have a whatever?" There was no confidence. I would have had to try it on today. I just picked up my medium and went home.
Right,
it'll be fine.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it makes life fun.
Well, cool. Well, I'm super proud of you. So, you said what would be you would give advice for someone just starting. What about someone who has started? They're in the middle, and now they're kind of like, I'm stuck.
Well, one of our friends in the Saturday meeting, Jackie, she's lost 135.8 as of this morning. She texted, and her motto is, "I've come too far to only come this far." I'm probably misquoting it, but it's something like that. And it's like has to be the motto.
I didn't come this far
to only come this far. That's it. Yeah. And it's like it's so true because it's like. That's how I feel like getting to goal, And I really do think of that. Is this going to get me to goal? In the morning, I wake up and I'm like, oh, is it raining? Should I go for a walk? And I'm like, oh, my goal.
Right.
I got to go walk.
Does this align with my goal or not?
Right.
Yeah. So everything we eat, every action we take, it either pushes you towards your goal or away from your goal.
Right.
That's the only two options.
Right. But what I've really learned is that there's not a bad choice. There's not a cheat.
Right.
There's not nothing's
powerful.
wrong anymore.
Right.
It's not a struggle. It's just what it is. And everything's okay because it's data and it's just like, maybe you need more sleep one morning. Maybe you need, nothing's bad or good anymore.
Right.
My mother, that's another story. She's always like, how's your weight? And I'm like,
thanks, Mom. I love you, Mom.
I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to pull it that it's just everything's good now.
You know what you should do? You should get a podcast and you should have hundreds of thousands of followers and have your mom watch it live. That's a hoot. Just so you know. Let me just tell you how fun that is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why?
And then what you should do is all of you guys should friend your mom, It makes it so much more fun. I promise you. Well, cool. Well, I'm very, very proud of you. I can't believe you drove all the way down here. Thanks for coming out.
No, Lisa drove.
Okay. Well,
that was the other thing. She goes, and I'm driving. I'm like, well, I could drive, but it makes her more nervous. So
yeah, I get that.
She drove all the way.
I get that.
Thanks to her.
Well, very cool. Well, awesome. Well,
keep
up the great work.
Thank you.
All right, who's up next? Maggie. Woo. Yeah, so my mom, she's commenting on Facebook already.
Yeah, she's been here.
Yeah. Mom, stop. Let's give a shout out to my mom. My mom's awesome.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, hi, Mom.
The same.
Yeah, so Maggie, say hi.
Hi.
Tell everyone when you made Lifetime.
I made Lifetime in July.
July. So Maggie's another one of those awesome people that's in the Tuesday night meeting.
I am.
You like it?
I do.
Isn't that fun?
It is very fun.
Who's your favorite person in the meeting? Don't say Karen because she's right there. Or you can say Karen.
I think everybody's awesome in that meeting. I love our meeting.
Very cool. So, give us the lowdown on your journey.
I have lost 76 pounds total. I started.
Whoa. Have you not been listening? I've made every single person repeat it.
I have lost 76 pounds total.
76 pounds.
54 on Weight Watchers.
Woo. Awesome.
Yeah.
Feel better?
I feel a lot better.
Very cool.
I didn't officially sign up to do the Indy Ultimate because I didn't think I could.
Okay.
I didn't think my knees would allow me to do that, but I wanted to come be the cheerleader. But I ended up walking the whole thing.
Wait, so you just admitted to theft?
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't do any of the exciting things. I didn't try to kick the football or throw the basketballs. I did ride the paddle boat, so.
Okay, all right.
I did.
She walked with me.
I give her. I'm just saying she stole it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sorry, folks at the Indy Ultimate. Next year we'll pay double for somebody. I promise.
I just kind of slipped in and.
Very cool. So walk me through that, because that is mentally. Again, we talked about this earlier. This feels like a race. It feels like an athletic event.
Yes.
And so many of us in our lives, we're like, oh, I'm not doing that.
I've never been athletic ever in my entire life.
Is this the first kind of race you've ever done?
Yes.
Ever.
Ever.
Ever. And you started with a 5-mile one.
Yes. But I got to walk it. It was walking, so it was
I think
easy.
You and Rhonda will be hanging out soon, because this was too short for her.
Yeah.
So now did you get a medal? You didn't bring a medal?
No, I didn't. I did not go through to get a medal because I didn't feel right because I didn't technically do it. No, I'm not taking your medal.
I have 3 of them. My wife and daughter went.
I was just kind of sliding in. Aw, thank you.
Look at that. Heck yeah, she needs a medal. Are you kidding me? You did the whole thing.
I did. I really did.
So let's go back to so you hesitated to sign up because you weren't sure you could do it.
I honestly didn't think I could do it.
Man. At what point during it did you realize you were going to finish?
I was just like taking a walk, and I was walking with friends, and everybody was having such a good time, and it just made it easy.
Very cool. So what's the next race you're going to do?
Well,
I think we've gone to something. I think we're going to get with Jake and Evelyn, and I think our meeting every day we'll go do a 5K.
Let's not get crazy.
A little overboard?
But yeah, a little crazy.
So what's your favorite 0-point food?
Butternut squash.
How do you prepare it?
I roast it in the oven.
Roast it in the oven?
Yeah.
All right. Don't invite me over for dinner on that night.
I eat that almost every single night.
Every night?
Every night.
As a meal or a snack or?
Well, along with my chicken or fish that I'm eating.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we talked about, we're bouncing around here, but we talked about your this particular race, this being your very first one, and you finally coming up to the mindset where you're like, oh, I can do this. Would you have attempted at all this? How many pounds again? 76 pounds ago?
Oh, no.
Right.
No.
So what does that feel like?
I felt very strong being able to do that. And even when I was heavy, I was always told I was a strong woman because I was very forceful. And I was a single mom with 4 kids. I kind of had to be.
Yeah.
So, and plus
you had to survive.
I was dating also, and that was like a whole nother thing in and of its own. So you have to, know who you are.
Right.
And I didn't see myself as being as heavy as I was until I would start getting pictures. And then it was like, oh my God, look at me. That's awful.
Right. I think, at some point I want to dig into that because I think even in my own case, I didn't realize I was as overweight as I was. And so when I walked into Weight Watchers, I was hoping to lose 20 pounds. Like, oh man, if I just lose 20, I'll be good. And I lost 20 pounds and like, okay, maybe 20 more.
Right. Right.
And, but I didn't, and so, I said this on an earlier podcast a long time ago, but, I asked my wife when I finally lost the weight, I said, how come you didn't tell me? I said, look, I look terrible. Why didn't you say something? And she's like, Mike, I thought you knew.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I didn't know. I mean, I assumed I looked good.
I thought I looked good.
And so it's just, and it's interesting that mindset is how in our brains we're able to justify it. You like how you look now?
I do.
Do you take selfies all the time?
No.
Why not?
No. I'm not a big selfie person.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You keep hanging out with this group, if you will.
Right?
Yeah.
I did the pictures of everybody in the thing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so last piece of it, or first piece of advice, or best piece of advice you can give to everyone listening.
Well, like everybody said, set small goals. Don't go in it thinking, oh my God, I have to lose. If I had went in thinking I have to lose 76 pounds, I would have never done it.
Right.
So just little goals. Maybe I can lose 5 pounds. Oh gosh, that was not horrible. That wasn't really hard to do. I could do that again and just keep doing it again.
Right. That is, for those of you who may have missed that is incredibly powerful from the standpoint of, if you had told me, here's the number you have to lose, Mike, you got to lose 91 pounds. It's a number I never even thought was even possible.
Right.
But if you said, lose 5 pounds, oh, I've done that before. Okay, we'll do it again. Okay, do it again. And that is that, you've heard me say this in our meeting, is so when folks are not perfect along their journey, I think that's beautiful, because it's like, so wait, so you lost 5 pounds without being perfect and you just did it? Like, yeah. So we'll just quit being perfect and do it again.
Right.
And then all of a sudden that frees up the mind to go, oh, I can actually do this.
Right. Exactly.
Cool. So are you going to be in the meeting Tuesday night?
Absolutely.
You haven't missed one, or very few, right?
I missed 2 in a row because I was out of town. So
that doesn't count. Other than that, you've been there for
since January of this year. Yes, okay. I started online only.
Okay.
I did my first 40 pounds online only.
Awesome.
But then I decided I needed. I needed to have some more support.
Cool. Well, we're obviously you have it. You found it in this room for sure.
Right.
So cool. Awesome. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Absolutely.
We'll see you Tuesday.
I'll be there.
Alabama in the house. You thought Houston was far? Alabama is further.
By the way, I'm from Alabama.
Alabama? Well, you need to say hi. Introduce yourself. Tell them how you're doing, who you are, what's going on.
I'm Melinda Wheeler, and I'm from Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Oh, no. And I drove 14 hours to get here. It was only supposed to take 8, but we kept stopping on the way.
Drinking too much water.
That's it. And going to antique shops.
Antique shops. Yeah. So why in the world would you drive all the way from Alabama to Indianapolis?
Well, I can't say because Fat Dag changed my life, because I know he's going to argue with me.
Right. He'll disagree.
Because, I knew I was going to just lock up when I got over here with you. I posted just a few days ago that when I travel, sometimes the most unexpected things are the things that were the best part about the trip.
Okay.
And it was the same way on this journey. I was not expecting to find this group, and it changed my journey.
What's the quote? Is when the mind is ready, the teacher appears, or something like that?
Yeah.
Or I forget how it's worded, but.
And I was about a month into this time through Weight Watchers, and I kept seeing positives and negatives about you on Connect. And I said, I got to find out. Anybody this controversial, I have to know what they're about. And I started listening to the podcast, and I cried. I drove down the road, and I'd pull up to the, Yep. But because even if the story's different from your story, there's still some part of it that clicks.
Right.
And at one point I said, I told Mike that I only had to lose 50 pounds total.
Not only, stop.
And that's what he said. And I think he called me crazy, maybe. But
I've done that before.
If you need to lose 40 or 50 pounds and you're miserable, then that's just as important as if you need to lose 300 pounds and you're miserable.
Yep. Even 10 or 15.
You're not living life, and you're not. I hated looking in the mirror.
Right.
And I never took selfies. It was hard to find pictures.
Did you
to
take
compare.
any selfies today?
Oh, yeah. Every stop. I did.
Stop.
And I was asking people to stop and take my picture. And that's just
let's do another one.
Okay.
Selfie.
And you would work for 30 minutes to get the right angle and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now I know they're
you
not.
Do it like this, up higher.
Up high.
Right.
And the ones I take now are not perfect. I'm not where, I know that I don't have the ideal body, and I don't look like those people on Shape magazine. But I want to see myself looking happy in different scenarios. And I do. I look happy when I'm doing things that I couldn't do a year ago.
Awesome.
And so
Indy Ultimate. So you drove all the way up here 14 hours because you stopped at the antique stop and restrooms.
Lots of them. Yeah.
So when do you head back? You must be staying in town
Monday morning.
Well, you're not staying for like a week?
No.
14-hour drive.
No, we came up Wednesday though, and then we drove up to Shipshewana.
Okay.
I've been here for a few days.
At least you got something out of it.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, today was the most important part.
Oh goodness. So what was your favorite event?
My favorite part of it was a year ago, I did not think I would ever run again, like truly take off and run. And when I guess it was Amy that took off running and
Rhonda.
Rhonda was way gone.
Yeah,
Rhonda was gone at that point.
Rhonda was probably finished by the time you started.
But several of y'all took off running, and I said, I'm just going to run with y'all, and I did. I just ran, and we went further. I've been running intervals, and I haven't run more than like a minute at a time, whatever. And we kept going, and I was like, I need to quit. And it was like, no, I don't have to quit.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was.
I could see it in your face. I could see the excitement in the pride.
It was
right.
It was worth. It would have been worth the 14-hour drive.
So who came up with you?
A cousin of mine from Alabama.
And where's he?
She did the race this morning too, and she's several years younger than me, but she's at home in bed. I couldn't even get her to go to lunch. She's like, I'm ready to go.
She's like, no, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm finished. So
very
anyway.
cool. So how proud of you are you?
How proud of you are you?
Very. I really am. Because it hasn't been easy.
No.
It's not. I ate lunch with a couple of random strangers at City Market, and we were talking about it. And one of them looked at me and said, "Weight Watchers, I tried it." She said, "I can't do it. I like food." And I'm like, I don't like food. You know?
Yeah, no.
I just don't like it. But I love food, but I did it.
Right.
And I enjoyed doing it, and I'm enjoying doing it now. And so I am. I'm proud.
Is there anything that you've done throughout your journey that you couldn't repeat?
No.
Think about that though for a second. Like if everything you've done, you're like, I can repeat all of that. Doesn't that make this so much easier mentally?
Oh, yeah. No.
I mean, you haven't done. I mean, we didn't ask you to jump off a building and fly around the world and pick up bananas from off the trees themselves.
And I think always before, when I got to this point, to lifetime goal, weight, or whatever, I didn't really know that I did it. I deprived myself, or I did it in a way that wasn't sustainable. And so I did not think I could maintain.
Right.
And
what do you think now?
I know that I can.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I did it. I got to this point, and I got to lifetime in April, and I have stayed there.
Awesome.
And so that's because I know I can. I'm not doing anything different than it took to get here.
You know you can, and you want to.
I want to.
Right, Marcia?
Yeah.
Right? You want to.
Yeah.
So, non-scale victories, what's your favorite?
Oh, wow.
High heels.
No, I don't. Today was a big one.
Yeah.
Because I love being outdoors and just doing things, and I wasn't doing that. I was sitting on the couch. Yeah. Because I didn't feel good.
Is this your first ever kind of race like this, or no?
It's the first obstacle. Okay. Well, no, it isn't. Anyway, that's another story. That's a long story. I have a back injury that I got doing the Dirty Girl.
Okay.
Which is
got it.
Which is my favorite story. Yeah. But that was an obstacle race. But that was 5 years ago, and after that, I was
since you've lost the weight, this is the first one.
Well, I'd lost the weight then, and then I gained it all back because of the injury and because of health issues.
Gotcha.
And I thought life was over.
Right.
I mean, I've sat in physical therapy gyms and cried and said, this is it.
I'm done.
This is as good as it's going to get.
I put out a tweet, I think either yesterday or today, that said, it doesn't matter what your medical diagnosis is. If you are still in control of your food, you can choose better. And so I think so many times we think that, you see it, my inbox blows up and people say, oh, I have this diagnosis, so I can't lose weight. I'm like, wait a minute. It doesn't mean that, food is a free-for-all. You can still make better choices. It doesn't, I talked to another guy the other day and said, he's like, well, I'm starting my exercise. I'm like, dude, you don't have to exercise. Sure, it helps and it's great for the mind, but what you eat plays a bigger portion in a lot. And do you agree with that? Very cool. So head back Monday to Alabama.
Alabama. And I hear Alabama was playing today, but I don't. Doesn't matter. It takes total priority.
a friend of mine is working he's like, oh yeah, I'm working the ball game. And I went, oh, ball game. There's something going on besides the Indy Ultimate with Fat Dag?
I don't understand. I don't think there is.
No.
But a billion people on the planet didn't make it here today, so apparently we got some work to do.
Well,
yeah.
They missed it.
Well, cool. Well, I'm super duper proud of you. I can't believe you drove all the way up here from Alabama.
You can't do it. Don't try.
Okay, Alabama.
Don't try.
I have cousins. They're in Tuscaloosa.
No,
Yeah.
you're kidding.
Yeah, and he works at. I'll have to Google it now. Leonard, are you on? Are you watching? Leonard Jones. You'll see him every once in a while pop in there. He works at the hospital right next to the campus. Yeah.
Well, so do I. No,
You know
I work
Leonard
for
Jones?
the same. Is he a doctor?
He's a doctor. Dr. Jones.
Yes, I know.
That's my cousin.
You're kidding.
Nope. Dr. Jones.
Okay. I went to see him. I think I went to see
Well,
him.
you can
just a
poke him
few
in the
weeks ago.
eye. I'll show you a picture of him when I find him.
Okay, show me a picture.
All right, let's find my cousin.
I had to go see him because I got poison oak.
We're a little.
I think he's the same. We have more than one Dr. Jones, but I'm pretty sure I saw him.
Jones is kind of a popular name.
Yeah, but there's
Come on, cancel. Sorry.
No.
What's that?
More understood.
Come on.
Yeah, I saw.
That's so funny.
He works in the same office with my doctor. So yeah, I work in Tuscaloosa.
Well, tell him I said hi.
I will.
Hi, cousin.
For real.
That's
oh
wild.
my goodness, this is just wild.
Huh.
So when are you coming to visit him in Tuscaloosa? Because I can hook you up with everything.
I was there not long ago visiting them. I stayed at his house, so I need to come back now. You didn't even know that.
Wow.
I'll go back.
Hey, anywhere y'all want to go eat, I'll take
All right.
y'all.
I want to go to the Mercedes-Benz factory.
I live like right by the Mercedes-Benz.
All right.
I can see it from my house.
I need to go there. I want a tour and everything.
Okay, I'll line it up.
Cool. I want to run through the whole place too. I don't want to walk.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Awesome. Well, I'm super duper proud of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way out here. Who do we have left? I know we have Jeannie's next, or Amy.
Amy? Well, let me pull off.
Yeah. So mom's still watching, guys. Mom is still watching. Yep. So.
I'm so terrible. I haven't been listening. I don't know what we're doing.
What's that?
I don't know what we're doing.
You just say we're just chatting. There's
oh my God, and I have a big head.
There's no one. You just chat to the microphone.
Okay.
There's no one watching. There's no one listening. Right? Lean in. Introduce yourself. Say hi to me.
Hi.
What's your name?
Amy.
Where are you from?
Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Is that how you say it? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Oh my God.
I'll get in trouble for that, I'm sure. So tell us about your journey. Where are you at?
I'm stuck.
Stuck? What's that
I'll
mean?
just be honest.
Dude, I love honesty.
I'm stuck.
What does that mean?
I am not working the plan.
Okay, so you're not stuck. You're not working the plan.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, stuck would be like when I get stuck in my truck, the tires are spinning.
Oh, I'm spinning.
When I put it in park, I'm not stuck anymore. I've parked.
This is true.
Right?
I'm not parked.
Okay.
I'm spinning.
Okay. So what does that mean then?
I get up. I do well.
Okay.
I do breakfast. I do lunch. I do dinner.
Okay.
And then I sit down at about 11 o'clock at night. And all hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose. So when that happens, when you wake up the next morning, what do you think?
Oh, I feel like crap.
Okay. When you wake up in the morning, do you say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that?
I wake up every morning and I say, today's the day.
Okay. Today's the day of good reset.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Every day.
Okay. No, that's okay. So where are you
it's
at?
Not that cool.
Where are you at? If you don't want to tell me, don't tell me. But where are you at weight loss wise?
Okay. I was at 35.
Okay.
And I am one of those self-sabotagers.
Okay.
So I gained 15.
Okay.
And I did it very consciously.
So you're down 20.
Well, and then I lost 7 of it.
So you're down 27.
Down 27.
You need to say that again.
Down 27.
Down 27. Yeah. So did that happen by accident?
No.
Like, did you just wake up and also like, I'm down 27 pounds?
Oh, no. I discovered this guy.
I've heard about him.
I think you have.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen loves him. I don't know what's going on over there.
She better not, because he's with me. It's not you.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Thank God. I got too much on my plate already.
No.
So you're down 27.
Yes.
And how did you do that?
I did that by working the program the way the program was meant to be worked.
Okay. When you were working the program, and I get that it's hard. I will admit that. It's difficult. You know, I changed my mind on how I want to word that in the future, but I get that it's not easy is the term I'm going to use. But when you do it well, do you feel different?
Absolutely.
And so do you write that down? Could you write down, like, when you start feeling great, do you say, I feel awesome, and therefore I'm going to just keep being awesome?
No.
Why not?
It's weird.
It's not weird. Wait. Are you awesome?
Yes.
Tell me, besides weight loss, tell me other things that you're awesome at.
I am awesome at my job.
Yeah.
I'm awesome at my kids.
You're an awesome mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try.
What else?
How many do I need?
A lot.
Okay. I am...
Are you a good friend?
A great friend.
Okay. Are you a good cook?
No.
Okay, we're not an awesome cook.
No.
Well, that's good.
I'm comfortable with who I am. Sure. I was going 1,000 miles an hour.
Right.
And then freestyle was introduced, and sure. I worked it incorrectly. I could not be trusted to stop.
Right.
And then
guilty.
That really threw a wrench in it for me. It made me uncomfortable. It made me lose my drive.
Okay. Can you get it back?
I tried.
Did this event, meeting these people, did this help at all?
Absolutely.
So what was your conscious decision to drive all the way down here? You weren't just in town, right?
No, I wasn't.
So why did you come down here?
These people.
You didn't know they were going to be here.
I did too.
You knew all of them were going to be here?
Everyone. Have you seen your Facebook page?
I have.
No, my reason to come down here was to recapture that motivation, and I knew that this was the group to do it with.
This is the group to do it with.
Yep.
Very cool. So in your 27-pound weight loss journey, what have you done that was so impossible that you couldn't do again?
Nothing.
Say that again?
Nothing. I can do it all again.
I believe that.
I do too.
Like, I really believe that. Like, when you said that, I'm like, I believe she can do it.
I know you do. That's why I'm here also.
Right? And I'll believe in you as long as you need me to. And I think these folks will believe in you.
Yep.
Right? Every single one of them. Yep. So we got to figure out a way to get through dinner, right? That's where we're at. And unfortunately, we're going to leave here and go to dinner.
We're going to go do dinner. Oh, dinner's good. It's after dinner. It's when everybody goes to bed. It's when I finally have some time to myself.
Gotcha. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna on the spot do something I don't generally do, but I want to, because I hate telling people how to do this, because I don't think that ever works. I can't. If I told you how to do it, you could do it for like a little bit of time, but I'm going to tell you a little how. And what I want you to do is I want you to find something, whether it's reading a book, whether it's knitting, whether it's cross-stitching, whether it's shoveling a driveway in Wisconsin in June, because I know that happens.
That does happen.
But I want you to find an activity that you love and reserve that activity for after dinner. And so that's the only time you can do that activity. And so that way I want you, because what's happening is you're just getting distracted. When dinner happens and you're getting back, your brain is just losing a little focus as to what the rest of the day was like. So I want you to distract it into something that you like doing, and then have an apple or a banana or two on hand. If you're not hungry enough to eat an apple, you're not hungry, you're bored, right? We know that. So you can totally do this.
I know.
Right? So how was the race today?
Super.
Did you love it?
Loved it.
Favorite event?
Can't pick.
Can't pick.
Nope.
Let me think. What about... We didn't get to run the bases because it was all flooded. That would have been fun.
That would have been awesome.
Are you a baseball fan?
Super baseball fan.
Okay, what's up there? The Brewers?
The Brewers.
Oh, how are they doing this year?
They're doing awesome.
I have no idea.
I know you don't.
So you can't pick out of all the events. Hanging with people was fun.
Yes.
Yep, very fun. Would you come back next year if I said I'm going to do this in Indianapolis?
Absolutely.
Would you guys come back next year? Yeah. All right. So I think officially we'll call this the Indy stop.
Yeah.
So, all right. So best piece of advice you can give to yourself right now?
Don't give up. You can do it.
Okay.
It's very broad, but
it is. So I want you to write that down somewhere where you're going to see it often. If you have to make it a recurring appointment in your calendar at 9:30 p.m., I want that to beep up and remind yourself at 9:30 at night. Don't give up. You could, because you said it.
I did.
And when you get home, you can hear yourself say it.
I will. Okay? Probably on my drive home.
Awesome. Very, very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
Ugh.
I think we only have one more, and then we're like done. How are you, sweetie?
I'm good.
Good.
Really happy. Oh, heck yeah.
Jan's asking how many people were there. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Who are you?
Stella.
Stella! No, Stella was in New York.
Jeannie.
Jeannie, where are you from?
McLean, Virginia.
Virginia, that's not anywhere near here either.
It is not.
What did you do, like take a bus here or something?
Planes, trains, automobiles. I was in Chicago, so came on the bus, but flew to Chicago.
So why would you come? Wait, that doesn't make sense. So you live in Virginia, you're in Chicago, and then you decide to take a bus to Indianapolis. Why?
It's like 3 hours. I was trying to figure out the best way to get here. So I fly out of here, but I wanted to get here. It worked out great. I needed to be there for work, and then the date for this was just very timely. So I said, exactly, God calling.
God calling. So wait, so you are a, not that you're not, but you are a super duper awesome person. Like this is your, no, like this has been your life. You've devoted your life to this long before we decided to, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's what I do.
What that you want to share?
Sure. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I advocate for evidence-based food and nutrition policy at the federal level and some at the state level as well. But I do a lot of different things, all the way from advocating for, healthy school food lunch to the Older Americans Act, which does the home-delivered meals and congregate meal dining. I work on Medicare and Medicaid and coverage for nutrition services for bariatric surgery. I was a clinical dietitian. I worked in surgical weight loss for about 15 years, and then moved to DC and started working on nutrition policy. I'm a long fan of Weight Watchers. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom, and after my first son, I think everyone thinks, even though you're a dietitian, that you don't ever need the support.
You're supposed to know everything, right?
Well, I know what to do, but like for me, it's about the team. It's about like having people around you that I love to talk food. I love to read about food. I cook all the time, and so for me, being around people that like to try new recipes or, do things, be active, be physically fit, like it's just a way of life for me, and I love it. And I think that of all the programs that are out there, it's very evidence-based. And it's funny, the lobbyist for Weight Watchers is in a lot of meetings that I'm in, and so her thing is it has to be like you have to be able to replicate it. It has to be cost-effective, and you have to see results. And so it's true. Like from a population base, it really is a good program for a lot of different people. I wish that. It's hard for me when I see the posts online about people that have difficulty paying for it. And then that makes me think my job is so important to go back and say, even for you, Mike, TRICARE, they need to cover this. And to say that all of the insurance companies and third-party payers need to be paying for food and nutrition counseling, and to help people before it gets to the point, we don't provide anticipatory guidance. When you have a child, at every point of the way, did you get your immunizations? Did you do this? Did you do that? But as an adult, when you're 18 and you leave, we don't say, the likelihood is whether you go to college or not, there's going to be a 15-pound weight gain. We don't tell people that when you get married or you move away or you get divorced, that all of these points in our life, or you're a woman and you're going through menopause, that there's a likelihood you're going to gain weight. Yes. We'll talk later. But I'm just saying, those are predictable time points that we have the opportunity to provide guidance. And so many people come into Weight Watchers and they don't have that relationship with their provider because the provider hasn't made it easy for them to talk about their real life.
That's my number one complaint about the military. And I love the military, you know that, right? But my number one complaint is I gained 100 pounds in the military before anyone ever said, "Hey, Mike, you're overweight." I mean, at some point, I take it all on me to have known that. But at some point, it would have been nice when I gained 50 pounds to someone say, "Hey, Mike, you've gained 50 pounds," and instead they didn't say anything until I gained over 100 pounds. And then it was like, "Oh, by the way, we're going to kick you out."
Well, even your wife, like I thought you knew. Like, and it's that fine line between you don't want to say to someone, and I was talking with someone earlier, and one of the most humbling experiences I've had is working in surgical weight loss where, one gentleman I worked with, I'll tell this quick story. He had to lose over 100 pounds to have an open gastric bypass. That's how long ago it was. And, 100 pounds. So he was at 600 pounds and he got down to 500. They did the open surgery and he came back about 6 months after he had the surgery and he'd lost another 150, 200 pounds. And he used to come to the appointments with his wife and then his 2 nephews. And they would put him in the back of a van and he would come to the appointments, not in his seatbelt or anything. He was just in the back and we couldn't weigh him. We had to weigh him on the laundry scale in the hospital. How humiliating that must have been for him. But he came back for the 6-month appointment and it was with his wife and the boys weren't there. And I said, where are the fellows at today? And he said they didn't come. And then that was because he was actually able to ambulate. And then when he told me, and I always get kind of teary-eyed in this, but when he told me that he took a shower for the first time in 2 years that morning, I thought to myself, these are things like people just take for granted every single day. But my point is that here's a guy that started out at 600 pounds. He was still 300 pounds. Who am I to judge him? Because if you saw him walking down the street, you probably have all these biases about his weight and who he is and where he came from. And
the society will still make fun of him at this point.
And they're wrong.
And he's an amazing dude.
And he was I just saw how far he had come. And so I think the weight bias issue in this country, I'm on that bandwagon too of we all have them, even no matter what size we are. And sometimes the people that have, extra weight or living with obesity are the ones that are most critical about weight to themselves and to others. And so I just think as a country, we have a long way to go with that.
And you've dedicated your whole life to this. This is what you do.
It is what I do.
I was forced into it because I had to figure it out on my own. And I was like, okay, this is working. But you and I met up, I don't know, probably a year ago, right?
Right.
It was at least about a year ago. And it was interesting for me to see that there are people who want to help me and I didn't know how to receive the help and I didn't know how to channel it. And so it replicates how the power of this community really is the missing piece in all of it. Right. Like we have the knowledge, we have the tools, but until you can look at someone in the eye and say, I understand. I know what you're going through. I've been there too. Walk with me. We'll get it done. Why do you think today was so much fun? But besides that, do you think that played into it?
Well, because for me, it's about the community. It's about coming together and having the conversations and people coming from so many different ways. And in the end, it's not your weight that defines you. It's the relationships that you have. It's who you are as a person. It's the conversation. And I just really like that. For me, I always love hearing the stories too, because in a way it just motivates me to do more and to just want to really help people and I think it's always easy to judge, but I come from my mother had a heart attack at age 41 and I had a cousin die at 29. We do not have good cardiovascular profiles in my family. And that's actually the reason why I got into nutrition, because I thought there had to be more. There had to be more than what was being said. But nonetheless, I come from those genes and I come from bigger people, and it's something that I actively have had to work on my whole life. It's not an easy thing. And that's what I love about the people that I work with on the advocacy side and you met them. These are not people that are stick rail thin that don't have issues. There's people that they're there because they had surgery or they have to take a medication every day, or even though they are physicians and very, very smart people, they still need the support to maintain their weight at the best level they can be.
Right. So switching gears to the Indy Ultimate, you run all the time, right? You're a runner, you're an athlete, you work out. How was this event compared to other events that you've done?
I thought this was really fun. It was different. I think that having the activities intermixed in between was really great. I told you I haven't been here for a while. In 1984, I came for the NC2A championships to watch swimming, so I hadn't been in the natatorium for a long time. It was really great to be back inside there. But I thought it broke it up. Somehow I ended up on the boat, and Amy, in the middle of the thing, said, let's get up and switch and have people in the back. I'm like, I'm not standing up in the middle of this
I am not standing up.
But somehow I did not pedal on the boat, and then I did not pedal on the the moving bar thing, So yeah, I somehow escaped that. But I think it was really fun just to have different activities and
To
break it up. And yeah, really, really fun.
Cool.
Really fun.
Well, let's wrap it up. Let's tell what's from a dietitian standpoint, what's the best piece of advice you can give?
You know what? I think the best thing that you can do is, we've heard it here, don't quit, get up every day and do what you do. But I also think like today, be active and be nice to yourself, have a good time. It doesn't have to be about running a marathon or doing whatever
We don't all have to go run this thing in a mile and a half.
We don't need to do CrossFit. We don't need to do CrossFit. Yeah.
Right. I mean, an hour and a half's quick. You could have beat her, I think.
I don't think so.
I think you could have.
I don't think so.
Awesome.
Maybe if we swam, I might be able to.
There we go.
But probably not.
Very cool. So, I have a special place in my heart for you. Everything that you've done for me, bringing me up to DC to speak and helping share the story, it means an awful lot to me. And so I want to truly, in person, thank you. I have more than once because we've had these conversations, but you're one of those cool people that gets it, and you want to make sure that we solve this. That's the cue. We want to fix this. We're not looking for a temporary fix. We want to make sure that no one suffers alone and they don't suffer needlessly. We can help.
Right. Absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Isn't it fun to be part of that?
It's very fun.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's go eat. After all this conversation, it's now time to go eat. But thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Have a safe trip back to Virginia.
Yep. I'll see you there soon.
Awesome. All right, Facebook, we're gonna rock this thing out of here. I will cut this audio up and put it in a podcast at some point. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. But we're out. Bye. Wait. I'll turn the camera around. Watch this. Let me turn. There they are. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. All right. Bye-bye. Wasn't that spectacular? I mean, I really had an awesome time recording that. Again, like I told you, I'm sorry. I apologize for the audio not being perfect. You could hear the background noise, cut in and out as it went through. But I'm learning. We'll figure this part out. But this opens the door for potential having future guests on the show, because now I've figured out at least some of the logistics on how to get it done. But I want to know what was your favorite part of that. Email in at onair@fatdag.com. Tell me what your favorite part is. Let's work it into a future episode, and we'll just keep on sharing. But I really am very proud of this entire group. We, as you heard during the show, we had an amazing walk around the city of Indianapolis. So many of us just out there, mentally checked in, mentally giving it everything we had to be successful. It was an amazing day, and the rain didn't stop us. There was nothing that was going to let us down, because we mentally knew this is why we are here. We came together as a group and we got it done. And then we celebrated. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the Wise Advice Podcast link, send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. You can also email in at onair@fatdag.com. I really do want you to email in those celebrations so that we can share it with this amazing community. This amazing community every day wakes up on fire, wanting to get it done, and we get it done. That's all it takes, just absolutely getting it done. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Thank you for listening to the Wise Advice Podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit fatdag.com, click on Become a Patron today.